Namaste, beloveds. How are you? Namaste, my loves. It's me, Syma, sacred feminine and spiritual coach, healer, and bestselling author of Goddess Reclaimed and Manifest Soulmate Love. And I am so excited to be with you today. I'm recording this live because this was unplanned. This is just a spontaneous love offering to share with you today some rituals on the winter solstice. So I just want to make sure that you can hear me and see me okay. So I have my beloved assistant, Clarice, and she says she can see me and hear me fine. Thank you, Clarice, my love. Okay, my darling. So first of all, many blessings on this beautiful, blessed winter solstice. This is a power day for us goddesses. It's a power day in the world, no matter what our spiritual practice or orientation is, but it's a very, very special day. It marks the shift of a season. And so these shifts are always very potent and powerful, and I always feel them and experience them as portals. And so it's really beautiful for us to harness this energy and to really consciously welcome it and embrace it, right? So that we can release what no longer serves us and embrace blessed, beautiful new beginnings. So today, the winter solstice, we are at the epitome and the height and peak of darkness. Today marks the longest night of the year, the shortest day of the year. And this is obviously for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. And then for our loves in the Southern Hemisphere, they are going to be celebrating the summer solstice. But living in Toronto, Canada, I'm in my cozy sweater. It's very cold. Definitely feeling into the winter energy, and would love to share with you some guidance and support that can help you to really embrace all the gifts of not only this day, but this season. And there's some very sacred, special things you can do. And don't worry if you're watching this video a few days later, weeks later, you can still practice these sacred rituals that I'll be sharing with you if you feel guided, if they resonate with you. So I just want to share again, today is very special for us because it is a celebration of the goddess birthing the sun. So basically before Christianity, when we were in nature-based traditions, especially pagan traditions, everything was inspired by the cycles of life and nature. And so it was believed that the goddess births the sun, S-U-N, but also her son, her divine child. And then so the sun now shines upon the earth, which is the goddess, and it warms it, and through the warmth, it's going to prepare and fertilize the womb of the goddess to create new beginnings in spring. So we're not quite out of the clutches of winter and the cold yet. We're still really deeply immersed into long, dark nights and the cold season. But this is a celebration that after this point, we begin to have more light. So this is the longest, darkest night of the year, and now we're going to be blessed with ever increasing light, right? So we are celebrating that. And there are many different ways to honor this. And again, I'm not pagan. I'm actually not connected to any specific religion. I am spiritual. And so I love to honor traditions that really resonate with me. And so I welcome you to do the same and really just harness the blessings and the magic of this very special day. And now what you will learn when I share some of these practices with you is they might sound very familiar because Christianity did incorporate a lot of these traditions, the pagan traditions, into the celebration of Christmas as well, where, Mother Mary birthing the Holy Child, Jesus, and celebrating Jesus. So that's very beautiful, and we celebrate that. And if you are open, then we're also going to be looking at some of the traditional ways that we welcomed winter solstice, maybe from a bit more of a sacred feminine and goddess perspective. So one practice that you can see I've already done for myself here is to adorn your home or your fireplace or your altar or wherever you feel guided with some winter greens. I don't like to have a winter tree, but that is one of the traditions as well, the Yule tree. So I just take branches because I know the trees can then replenish themselves. So I prefer and recommend, it's just a little more earth friendly, to have some branches, acorns, winter greens, and holly to decorate in your sacred space. And that is a really beautiful way to honor this very special day. The other thing is to, if you want to burn a Yule log, so a log perhaps from pine or oak, that honors, the winter trees that are resilient through the cold, and burning that. Or if you just I have an electric fire, so I don't have that option here where I am, but I will be burning a lot of candles. So the other tradition is to burn a lot of candles. And it used to be that candles would be lit in every window to really tempt the sun to shine upon us. It was like, please, sun, we're like invoking that light, the warmth of the sun, and just really welcoming it and, asking it to shine upon us and bringing it back, right? And honoring it and revering it. So we really honor the sun god, the sun deity. Traditionally, the sun is associated as a male deity, although there are some goddesses like the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet and the Shinto Japanese goddess Amaterasu, who are sun goddesses. The Celtic goddess Bridget is associated with the sun and the element of fire. That's her element as well. However, even in a goddess and other traditions, the sun generally, like in Egypt also, Ra is the sun god. So the sun tends to be the masculine energy, right? Associated with the divine masculine, which is very beautiful as well, because of course we need the balance, right? So we are invoking the sun and we're celebrating that on earth. And so we invite it in through burning candles and their light is there to remind us that the sun and light is returning. The warmth is returning. The warmth returning within our hearts. So sometimes we can get, especially where I live in Toronto, seasonal affective disorder known as SAD. It's like a winter blues or winter depression. So it's really important to make sure we're spending time in the sun. So today is a beautiful day to go out in the sun. Even if it looks cloudy and gloomy, the sunlight will still bless you and penetrate through you on a very physiological level, right? So if you can get out in the sun, that would be beautiful. Draw back all the drapes, not only on the solstice today, but throughout the winter, so you can soak up as much sunshine as possible. Now, of course, if you are in direct sunlight, after, you might want to put some sunscreen on because you're still getting all the UV rays, so you want to protect yourself. But it's recommended that it's normally, unless you have any conditions, pretty safe to absorb sun rays for about 15 minutes without sunscreen. So again, check in with your medical situation, your doctor if you need to on that, but this is just very general advice, my love. So soaking up that sunshine. And the other thing you can do is, if you can face a window and do some sun salutations, Surya Namaskara from the yoga tradition. Again, like I said, I practice from all kinds of beautiful traditions. So as a certified yoga teacher, sun salutations are such a beautiful way to invoke and honor the light of the sun, the warmth of the sun. And I actually recommend doing the sun salutations for perhaps 12 rounds every morning, especially in the winter. So you're heating up your body. And then the other thing is to do something like dance, where you can break a sweat and get that heat in your body. Other practices are making sure that you are honoring your body and keeping the solar plexus, where your inner sun is, in the center of your belly, nice and healthy. So in winter, especially in the holidays, we might be indulging and treating ourselves to a lot of heavy, rich holiday foods. And of course, we tend to crave richer foods to, cushion up a little bit and have that extra warmth to keep us nice and cozy in the winter. However, they can and get us a little sluggish, and then we tend to be a little less active as well. So it's really beautiful to make sure you're eating healthy and put some spice and some ginger, some turmeric, some chili pepper in, for example, a smoothie. Make some golden milk with any kind of milk that works for you, whether it's dairy or vegan milk, and putting some cayenne pepper, some turmeric, some ginger in there, and just to fire up that solar plexus, right? So maybe working with some spices, cinnamon in your tea, right? Cardamom, and any kind of herbs and spices are really great to get that fire inside of your belly going, but it also really supports your digestion as well, which is very helpful for us during this time of the year. You can also celebrate by making a potluck or a big pot of something, or a pot roast. And desserts, cakes are a traditional celebration of Yule or the winter solstice, so treats, and just celebrating with your loved ones, but keeping it casual. Like, it doesn't have to be fancy. And I tend to, because I love being a hostess, I love thinking of every single detail. The goddess is in the detail. Sometimes we'll just go crazy with everything that I plan for a Christmas dinner or a holiday dinner. And Yule and winter solstice, though, is really about keeping it very simple. So if you even just want to have this beautiful celebration and healthy, happy meal with yourself, your partner, your family, or invite people over last minute, we want to bring something yummy, it's really beautiful to share in that meal together. In terms of drinks, mulled wine is great. So you might want to look up a recipe for that if you drink. And then if not, apple cider is lovely. Again, you can put in a cinnamon stick in there as well, or even tea, but adding some cinnamon, adding that little bit of spice or turmeric into it. These are really cozy drinks that honor the fire element. That's where that cinnamon and ginger and turmeric and chili pepper come in, to honor the element of fire. So that is very, very helpful as well. Let me see. I made a few notes just to make sure I could give you some really good tips. Oh yeah, of course, sage, Palo Santo. So if you can burn incense or burn some sage or Palo Santo, that is really beautiful to do on this day. And what I like to do is take a piece of paper and write out everything that you are now surrendering to the light, that you maybe had illuminated in the darkness. Because the winter, these dark days, these dark nights that we've gone through, the darkness is also very special, and it has many gifts in there. So the goddess does not hide away from the darkness, does not shy away from it. The darkness can be our shadow, our grief, those parts of us that have come into conscious awareness that can be very uncomfortable, but very necessary for us to face, so that we can heal them, so we can really heal and love our way back to wholeness, my loves. So once we have become aware of that, and if you haven't yet, then today is a great day, or these next few days of winter, the next few days of closing this year, or even into the new year. Again, it doesn't matter when you watch this. If it resonates with you, go ahead and try these rituals. But maybe just doing that introspection and that reflection and that journaling as to, what has come up for me. What are the lessons I need to learn? I still need to heal. What are my wounds that I'm still carrying? What's my old story that I'm ready to now release? And just really embracing and honoring and facing what no longer serves you, writing all that out on a piece of paper, because when you're writing it, you're really getting it out energetically and tangibly outside of your body, outside of your consciousness, onto a piece of paper. Then very safely, you can burn that. A goddess tradition would be to burn it in a cauldron or a pot very safely. And then you can surrender those ashes to Mother Earth for healing and purification and further transmutation. So the element of fire, again, working with it is very powerful. And perhaps after you burn that letter, if you choose to do that ritual, again, be very safe and careful. Then you can smudge yourself with sage or Palo Santo. And I have a whole other video on sage smudging. I didn't have or use actually Palo Santo at that point. So it's a lovely new friend that I have become acquainted with. And this specific Palo Santo I took with me to Hawaii just a couple of weeks ago on my trip. And it's been blessed by Pele, and I want to pass some of it on to you, my loves. So I'm going to just etherically, energetically send you this. Receive it. And if you feel called to work with a blessed herb or Palo Santo or sage, rosemary, lavender, cedar, juniper, anything else that you feel like burning in your home, then perhaps do it after the ritual of releasing what no longer serves you with that letter. And then smudge yourself. It's really simple. You just waft yourself with it. There's tips like you can do it clockwise or you can go this way or that way, but follow your intuition. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's very intuitive. Whatever feels right to you. And then you can put a plate or something underneath it so that, the ash doesn't fall and ruin your furniture or your floor, but then perhaps smudge every room. For rooms, it is nice to go in your home clockwise because you're following the feng shui, the energy circuit. So perhaps going clockwise in every room. And if there are particular parts of your rooms, like your bed, maybe you've been depressed or have just been sad or had a really low energy or had a lot of anxiety or stress, really smudging your bed and opening the windows and letting that light in and just asking your energy to be cleared, anything heavy, anything that no longer serves you to be released and transformed and transmuted for your highest good. So just doing it with intention. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do any of this stuff, right? Just really follow your intuition. And then once you release it, perhaps then you can light your candles. And when you light your candles, maybe you want to set new intentions. I now invite in, instead of that anxiety, I now light this candle to ignite my faith. If you release something else like blocks in a certain part of your life, then after you clear it, you light a candle and perhaps you say, now light this candle to invite and ignite the light of abundance, the light of love, the light of joy, the light of health, light of happiness in my life. So whatever your intentions are, you can light candles and make intentions and then just, keep an eye on the candles and let them burn out. Or if you feel guided, if you need to blow them out, then just saying a prayer and asking God, Goddess to bring your wishes, your prayers, your intentions into form in perfect divine timing in beautiful and miraculous ways for your highest good. So now we've sort of walked through a nice little routine or ritual for all these rituals. Some other things to do throughout the winter that can be really helpful, or if it's safe for you, if you're not pregnant or don't have any circulation issues, it is going and visiting a sauna, and just getting that nice heat through you, especially because of the cold. And being in nature, taking nature walks is really helpful. And at the same time, finding that balance of stillness and movement. So we want to heat things up. We want to keep ourselves active and breaking a sweat and moving and dancing and sun salutations. But at the same time, don't fight it, right? If you need to hibernate a little bit, if you need extra sleep, if you need a nap, if you want to get into meditation, if you're not already meditating, or lengthen your meditations, or really incubate and journal, and maybe simplify your social calendar, minimize your commitments. I personally find it really helpful in the winter to incubate a little bit and just shed and get really simple and clear and still and quiet. And it's like when I go to the river where I live in the summer, it's bustling. There's so many people, there's lots of activity happening, but the winter, there's no one there. And it's so silent and beautiful, and there's usually mist and fog, and it just feels very mystical. So perhaps going to these places that are maybe not as active right now and embracing that stillness and that silence, right, on the winter solstice and throughout this winter, my loves. And then in terms of goddesses, this season is still ruled by the crone. Right, this is the season of the wise woman. So we have the maiden, mother, and the crone. So it's her wisdom. Even though spring, the maiden is, the goddess of spring, and that's coming. And we do have more and more warmth. We are still in the domain of the crone. So this is get quiet and get still and really birth your wisdom. Birth the things you want to birth starting in spring from this point of inner sacred stillness and silence. The other goddess that I love, that's the first goddess in my book, Goddess Reclaimed, is Siege, who is a Gnostic goddess of silence. And even though she is a goddess of utter silence and the void, She is the mother of all creation and the aeons, including Sophia, who is the goddess of wisdom and, the god of love and faith. So this is that reminder to us that in stillness we birth and we create. So let's just stop all that noise and all the to-dos and all the hustle and bustle of the holiday season and just really take time to honor the inner crone, the inner wise woman, to center into sacred stillness and silence and see what spark she lights within us, what's warming our heart, what's lighting us up that wants to be birthed. And we can plant those seeds very soon in our life when we're ready. But first we incubate and we receive that divine guidance, right? So that is my invitation to you. And, if you want even more things to decorate your altar with, you can use nuts and apples and acorns and pears. Create any other rituals that you feel guided to create. And you know what, if you have rituals, I would so love to hear them. So please share in the comments either which of these practices and rituals you want to incorporate today on the winter solstice or throughout the winter or at any time of your life, which ones really spoke to you, which ones really excite you. And if you have others, share them with us so we can all benefit, my loves. So that would be so beautiful for us to receive your wisdom and your guidance. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I just really hope that this has supported you, my loves. So this was just my little spontaneous treat, my gift to you for the holidays. And I would just so love to close with a prayer for us all. So I invite us all to bring our hands together either in front of our hearts or if you feel guided to open them, whatever resonates with you, my loves. And let's just take a breath together. I'm feeling called to just turn on some music. So this will be like a meditative prayer. And this music is called Spiritual Sun Lifting by Thaddeus. It's available on orendavin.com. Okay. I'm just closing your eyes. Mother, Father, Goddess, God, on this sacred day, we welcome your divine light. We ask that you support us in embracing the gifts of the long, dark night that we are now crossing through. And if there were any lessons and messages for us from this season of our lives, we ask that you please help us to learn them gently, peacefully, and harmoniously. Show us what we need to see within ourselves, about our lives, so that we can heal, so that we can break free of any patterns that no longer serve us, that do not support our greatest flourishing, that are not in alignment with the truth of who we are. We now bring these to light and we surrender them to your sacred fires for healing, purification, and transmutation. We ask that you guide us in connecting with the inner wisdom through the practice of sacred stillness and silence, through our daily meditation, through prayer, through walks in nature, through contemplation, through journaling. Help to make our schedule so that it is so easy and graceful for us to prioritize this, and help us to prioritize the self-care, the spiritual self-care that we need to nourish ourselves completely, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, to recharge with the light of the sun, with the light of our souls, that we may have the energy to be propelled forward in our lives as we embrace stillness and silence, to find that sacred balance, that harmony within ourselves, within our lives. And we welcome the light of the divine to bless us, this birth of the sun, the Holy Sun, the Christ within, the God, Goddess within, lighting us up from the inside, our own divine spark shining through our center, especially our solar plexus, through our belly, like 1,000 beautiful, glorious suns shining from our center, lighting and illuminating us from the inside out, uplifting and elevating and glorifying, exalting our path, guiding us, inspiring us, empowering us in every way, letting us be radiant channels of divine love in this world, letting our light bring healing. May we bring light to darkness. May we be unafraid of the darkness. May we embrace it as a necessary duality of this existence. May we heal ourselves and our world into wholeness through love, through kindness, through forgiveness, but also through healing our righteous rage and anger, our grief, our sorrow, our darkness, our shadows. May we love and embrace all of ourselves, dark and light, human and divine, shadow and spirit. May we walk in grace. And we open to receiving your infinite blessings of light and love today and always. We open to embracing the cycles of the Maiden Mother Crone Triple Goddess within us, embracing the divine harmonious balance of all elements. We ask that our chakras be healed and cleared and balanced, ignited, illuminated, shining so brightly, keeping us healthy and strong and happy through this winter, through any season, through all of our lives. We send this light out in blessing to every part of our lives, to everyone we know, to the entire world, asking that the light of the divine illuminate us in every way, transform and transmute all that no longer serves us, and uplift us, bless us, guide us, support us, and protect us in every way for our highest good, now and always. So be it, so it is. Blessed be. Very gently opening your eyes, beloveds. Thank you so much for joining me on this, and I pray that this prayer has supported you. I am sending you so much love. I'm so grateful for your presence. I'm so grateful for just this blessing of serving you and supporting you. Share with me in the comments how this served you. And I just look so forward to supporting you next year. This will be my last offering for this year of 2017. And I am going into 2018. No strategies, no goals, no plans. Just pure love, gratitude, reverence, and openness. I enter it in this emptiness and this stillness. I'm going in as the void. And I know that whatever they will birth through me, God, Goddess, will be of the highest service to you. So I'm trusting in that. And in the meantime, however, I'm just so honored and grateful to have this opportunity to connect in this way. I'm so grateful. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, technology. Thank you, these divine masculine structures, for, honoring and supporting the divine feminine. We're in such an exciting time in our world right now. I know that it's an intense time, but let's look at the light as well and celebrate that. So I'm so grateful. Thank you. Come on over to my online temple at flourishinggoddess.com, where I can give to you a guided meditation, much more in-depth online free video trainings that you get when you become a member of the tribe through the newsletter. So you'll just receive them over a few weeks. And I would just love to really support you in the long term on this journey, my loves. Thank you again so much. Sending you all my love, winter blessings, infinite blessings. Namaste.